Hey Emily, how are you? I am looking at your work from April 19th and I just want to point out a couple things. So I'm looking at problem 2 from that because you're doing a nice job, but I'm seeing some of the same mistakes. So this was the problem, 9ab squared minus 30a squared b to the third. 30a squared b to the third. So right now, this expression is in expanded form, and I'm going to transform it into factored form by dividing out or factoring out the greatest common factor. So I notice first you look at 19 and 30, the largest number that goes into 19 and 30 is 3, and I saw that you did that, so you factored that out. That's great. Now we need to think about our variable parts. So we look at the first variable, and that is a. And let's compare these. In the first term, we have a, or a to the first power, and the second term, we have a to the second power. So what do they both have in common? Well, they at least have one a in common, right? So both of them at least have one copy of a. So my greatest common factor between the a's is just a. Now let's look at the b's. So there's 2 b's in the first one term and 3 in the second. So there's at least 2 in both of them. So I'm going to divide out b to the second. So I'm just thinking, what do they have in common? Well, they have 2 copies of b in common. And that's going to be my greatest common factor. So in this part, I think you're fine with when you're figuring out what's inside the parentheses. We're just going to do the opposite, or think about what would happen if we were doing distributive property. To go from 3ab squared, I need to multiply that by 3 to get 9ab squared, because 3 times 3 is 9, and then I also have the ab squared. Now to go from 3ab squared to minus 30, a squared b to the third, it's going to be minus 10. Now to go from a to a squared, I need to multiply it by a. And to go from b squared to b to the third power, I need to multiply it by b. So in factored form, it's going to be 3ab squared times 3 minus 10ab. And notice, this is how I'm going to check it. If I did the distributive property here, 3ab squared times 3 is 9ab squared. And 3ab squared times minus 10ab is negative 30 a squared b to the third. So make the corrections and send it back to me. Send this assignment back to me for full credit.